More like French speak.
It's not working. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. The ceremony will start in just a few moments, and the procession is on its way. But before that, I have a few obligatory notices to give. Can I ask that you all check your mobile phones to make sure they're either on silent, flight mode, vibrate, or even off? It would be awfully embarrassing if it was your phone that went off during the middle of the ceremony. So if you wouldn't mind checking, thank you. Discreet photography and filmography is permitted during the ceremony, but for the comfort of everyone around you, please do remain seated. Professional photos are available to purchase and will be taken throughout the ceremony, and the event is being streamed on YouTube, and a recording of it will be available after the ceremony. The link is on our graduation page. Photos will be taken, as I say, throughout the ceremony, and if anyone does not consent to their photo being taken today and used for publicity, please let either myself or one of the other marshals know. In the extremely unlikely event that we need to exit the building in a hurry, please remain calm and seated. Marshals will assist you in exiting the building. For staff on stage, there is a fire exit to the left of the altar through the vestry. For people to my right, please exit through the tower door at the rear. And for the people to my left, please exit through the door in which you came. But please wait to be directed by the marshals. When the ceremony has finished, the procession will leave the church and you will all be asked to stand. The procession will be followed by the graduates, our VIPs, and our remaining guests will then be asked to follow. We'd like to welcome you to the marquee behind the Vincent Centre to join us for the reception. If any of the children become unsettled during the ceremony, I'd ask that you take them outside for a breath of fresh air. It can be a long while to be sat still listening to speeches, so please feel free to leave and come back as you need. Finally, to our graduands, may I be the first to congratulate you on your achievement. When your name is called, please step onto the stage. You will shake the Chancellor's hand before looking to the camera to my left for your official photograph. When you leave the stage, please walk down the centre, the middle of the aisle here, to the back of the church, where one of the marshals will seat you. Thank you. Please enjoy the ceremony, and can I please ask that you're upstanding for the procession.
Please be seated.
Good morning, and may I welcome those of you who don't live here to the lovely market town of Buckingham. My name is Mary Archer, and I have the honour to be the Chancellor of the University. So it's my pleasure to welcome you to this graduation ceremony. Graduation is a rite of passage, and this is a day you will always remember with justifiable pride. Today is very special not only for you, but also for your friends and family and supporters, and for the staff and faculty who have taught you, mentored you, and encouraged you, maybe even occasionally scolded you. As I think you will be aware, you have enjoyed the benefits of a very high standard of teaching and personal attention that is such an attractive and distinctive feature of life at the university. And I know you will have studied hard to achieve your goals. I hope you've enjoyed being part of the diverse and multicultural community that is the student body, which will have introduced you to people, experiences, traditions, and cultures from across the world. You are the latest in a long and lengthening line of distinguished graduates from the university. When you look back at your time here and remember the support and encouragement you received, we hope you will remember us fondly and act as ambassadors for your university. I congratulate each and every one of you and wish you every good fortune in your chosen career and future life. Thank you.
Dame Mary Archer, Sir Ivan Lawrence, Registrar Chris Payne, Associate Dean Adolfo Paolini, members of faculty, graduands, and their family and friends. Let me add my welcome to Dame Mary's to this ceremony today to graduate candidates in the School of Law. I'm so glad that we can be here together physically, and I'm looking forward to meeting many of you on the Balloff lawn in the marquee after the ceremony. I am so glad you chose the University of Buckingham. I call it our unique boutique university. I'm so proud of it, and I hope that as you go into the world, you will look back with pride too about your time here. So the special graduation ceremony today is to confer degrees in the School of Law. And law, of course, as many of you will know, but in case you didn't, is our oldest program at the University of Buckingham. It dates back all the way to the inception in 1976, where we had a matriculation in this very church, and on this very spot where I'm standing now, one Margaret Thatcher gave the matriculation speech to primarily the new students in law. And she gave a wonderful speech. She began it by saying, speaking from here, I am here because I believe in an ideal. And I believe that ideals are meant to be lived and not just read about in books as part of history. And what was the ideal that she was celebrating, that she believed in? The ideal was of an independent university, independent from government and independent in terms of its commitment to academic freedom and free speech. She continued, I'll read some extracts from her speech, because I think that's quite powerful for today. She continued, to a free people accustomed to great richness of private initiative. There is something undesirable, indeed debilitating, about the present mood of the country in which so many people look not to themselves or their fellows for new initiatives, but to the state. And she celebrated the University of Buckingham as bucking that trend and creating something new and marvellous. Independence, she went on, we must remember, is not a gift. It is not something that governments confer, but something that a free people enjoys and uses. But unless we are worthy and able to take advantage of a freedom, she continued, of advantage of a freedom not yet extinguished in our land, we should become pale shadows like civilizations before us, who were eventually thrust aside and dispossessed by more vigorous rivals. I think her words resonate with us today in a very powerful way. We pride ourselves on being a very innovative, pioneering university. And when we began in 1976, we pioneered something completely unknown in the land, indeed in the world, I would think. And that was the 2-year degree. And yesterday we gave an honorary doctorate to Sir Brian Thwaites, whose mind and imagination and creativity was behind, at least in part, that idea. But interestingly enough, when we said we were going to do 2-year degrees in law, the Council for National Academic Awards, CNAA, which was the degree awarding bodies for places like Buckingham, the University College at Buckingham, still not a full university in its own right, the CNAA said, no, you can't. Degrees are 3 years long. And we said, well, 2 years, we will cram everything in that you would have got in 3 years. We just have another term in the summer holidays. And no, they didn't buy it. So did we give up? Did we say, oh, well, we're going to do 3-year degrees. We're going to give up what we aspire to? No, we didn't. The people, the powers that be, created the qualification of the license of the University College at Buckingham, and then went to the Advisory Committee on Legal Education and convinced them that the license from the University College at Buckingham was worth the same as a degree in law from any other place. And so the very first graduates, I've met some of them recently and some in Nigeria, they had a license from the University of Buckingham. And it was not until 1983 that we gained our degree awarding powers. By this time, Margaret Thatcher, who had been leader of opposition in 1976, she was now Prime Minister, the first Prime Minister, female Prime Minister the UK had ever had. And she helped our Royal Charter go through in 1983. And then we began to award degrees. And then when she retired from politics, of course, she became our Chancellor, just like Dame Mary today is our Chancellor. And Margaret Thatcher, by then Baroness Thatcher, she was deeply involved with all of our students and our faculty, attending events like this one and circulating afterwards, as does Dame Mary today, to meet you and show her concern and love for the students and their families here. In a speech like this, I always like to look back on what happened on this day in history, to anchor what we're doing today in historical events. And on this day in history, July the 13th, in 1863, Henry Ford was born. And Henry Ford, of course, went on to do terrific things in the automobile industry, but he knew lots of failures. He would start something, and it would fail, and then he would start again and not succeed. And eventually, of course, he did succeed. But he had some interesting things to say about failure. Failure, he said, is only the opportunity more intelligently to begin again. The only real mistake, he said, is one from which we learn nothing. And this one I particularly like. Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goals. And I think as we go forward from today, you can think of those words and remember when you're only seeing obstacles, sometimes it's good to focus on the goals and not think of the obstacles alone. Also, this week in history was very eventful in 1945. Think back to then, the Second World War was just finished, just over, and in that week in history, Winston Churchill, who'd been Prime Minister, as you know, through the war, he lost the general election. And the British people were tired of the war and wanted and voted in the new Labour government of Attlee. And there are several quotes from Winston Churchill that two quotes I'd like to share with you today. First of all, the importance of modesty and humility when we are successful, when we do go into the world and do great things. Churchill spoke modestly about winning the war, and he said this: "I've never accepted what many people have kindly said, namely that I inspired the nation. No, it was the nation and those dwelling all around the globe that had the lion's heart. I had the luck to be called upon to give the roar." And he also said this paragraph, which I think is very relevant to you today, as you leave, as it were, metaphorically leave the university and go into the world. He said this: "To each there comes in their lifetime a special moment when they are figuratively tapped on the shoulder and offered the chance to do a very special thing, unique to them and fitted to their talents. What a tragedy if that moment finds them unprepared or unqualified for that which could have been their finest hour." I like to think that we at the University of Buckingham have prepared you and qualified you so that when that moment or those moments happen to you, when you're figuratively tapped on the shoulder with an opportunity, a challenge, something that fits in almost uniquely with your vision, your values, your aspirations, your skills and knowledge, when that moment comes tapping you on the shoulder, you will be prepared and you will be qualified to grasp the opportunity, to seize the moment and move forward. That reminds me of our motto of the University of Buckingham. In Latin, Alice volans proprius, translated flying on our own wings. I'd like to think that we've prepared you well, qualified you well, so you can now fly on your own wings and fly high as you progress into your careers. But I'd also like to think that we've given you roots too. As Dame Mary said, you're part of a now growing line of alumni of this University of Buckingham. Do see yourself as part of that long line, and do please keep in touch with us. Thank you.
Chancellor, I call upon Professor Adolfo Paolini, Associate Dean of Law, to present candidates for awards of the University of Buckingham in law.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, Sir Ivan Lawrence, distinguished guests, dear graduates, colleagues. A book I read many years ago as a law student made me understand the importance of learning. Niccolò Machiavelli wrote The Prince as gift to Lorenzo de' Medici, Duke of Urbino. In his dedicatory letter, he offered to the Duke the best asset one would ever have, knowledge. Quote, "Usually those seeking favors from a prince give him presents dear to themselves, or something that might delight him, wherefore we see prince presented with horses, weapons, gold banners, jewels, and other treasures. Myself, desiring to offer you magnificence, some token of my service, I only find among my most favored and esteemed things to offer my knowledge of the actions of great men, drawn from long experience of modernity and antiquity. You are here today because of knowledge. It is now your turn to share it. No free man shall be seized or imprisoned or stripped of his rights of possessions, or outlawed or exiled, or deprived of his standing in any other way, nor will we proceed with force against him or send others to do so, except by the lawful judgment of his equals or by the law of the land. To no one will we sell, to no one deny or delay right or justice. These two chapters of the Magna Carta 1215 contain the most pure foundation and objective of any legal system: justice. The pathway to get there is by respecting the rule of law. It is now your job to share this knowledge and have the rule of law implemented where unknown, reinstated where abolished, respected where ignored, taught where misunderstood, and confirmed where followed. No doubt, sharing and respecting the rule of law will not only restore faith in the private communities, but also make yourselves, your families, and the University of Buckingham proud. On behalf of the law school, I would like to congratulate you all on this special occasion and look forward to seeing you shining in the legal forum. Well done. Chancellor, I present to you the graduates in law. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Law, Annie Wei, having submitted a thesis entitled Human Rights Violations by Cameroonian and African Widowhood Traditions and the Role of the Law, Governments and Non-Governmental Organizations in Protecting the Rights of Widows, Case Study of Cameroon. For the degree of Master of Laws in International and Commercial Law, Binish Chowdhury with distinction. Nina Devi. Muhammad Usama Salim. Mercilina Say. For the degrees of Master of Laws in International and Commercial Law and Bachelors of Law, Mudey Yamal Abukar. Sandra Anwar. Craig Dell. Hannah Fitby Lyons. Megan Hillis with distinction and first-class honors. Doris Momanji with first-class honors. Lauren Parsons with first-class honors. Samantha Smith Nolan. Kale Unit. For the degree of Bachelor of Laws, Malaki Ahmed. Taman Al-Hasni. Malik Al-Kindi. Moyi Ali. Arul Archon. Elijah Banda. Ben Basaj. Asmau Bello. Stefano Cerquetti. Bruno Colchete Cura with first-class honors. Mica Isabel Corrales. Diksha Dahu. Hania Durewu. Mahin De Alves. Alexander Dombeck with first-class honors. Jasmine Edward. Olaki Egole. Natasha Fremantle. Gabriela Hoxa. Samuel Halim Irodi. Oluwatife Ishola. Ariana Kirton Mogurt. Ivy Magnetico with first-class honors. Emilia Mera. Michelle Mutoni with first-class honors. Odinakachubu Nodum with first-class honors. Kidiebere Wanonisi. Daniela Okocha. Oluwadamilola Obolabi. Samantha Peck with first class honors. Abdul Keyun. Andrew Reed with first class honors. Eri Regma. Nabila Shehu. Rakaya Simmons. Keen Smethurst. Anthony Swan. Ramsa Tariq. Eve Udechukwu. Annabelle Wall. Tareen Wan. Jana Wood with first class honors. Ann Wilson. Maniba Safar. For the posthumous degree of Bachelor of Laws, I welcome the family of Torijetsu Jackson. For the degree of Bachelor of Laws, part-time, Mohammed Altaf Khan. Oli Sailoka Amobi. Aikaterini Bampaku. Gloria James. Michelle Johnson. Henry Luwaka, Hannah Mahon, Catherine Olajubu, Shamim Perwas, Rashid Salim, Katie Simmons with first class honors. Richard Todd, Jenny Tyler, Naila Yakub, for the degree of Bachelor of Laws, Charlie Ann Gordon with first class honors. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation.
Chancellor, the Edgar Palamountain Prize for Excellence is awarded annually to the student who has come first in the final examinations within that student's discipline and has, in the opinion of the University, shown the greatest degree of all-round excellence. The recipient for 2020 is Ms. Charlie Ann Gordon from the School of Law. The Chancellor will now conclude this ceremony.
As the Registrar has said, this ceremony is now drawing towards its close. The Vice-Chancellor has reminded us of the motto of the University. Like all good university mottos in Latin, alis volans proprius, flying on our own wings. May I congratulate all our new graduates, no longer graduands, and wish you every success as you go forward, flying on your own wings and helping others fly on their own wings. In a time when freedom of speech and independence of thought is under threat from various quarters, it is good to see such a strong cohort of law graduates come from this university, which has been the case for so many years. And it was good to read earlier this week in the Daily Telegraph, talking of this university. This is what outstanding moral leadership looks like. You are called upon to be moral leaders. The Vice-Chancellor quoted, as he quite often does, Churchill, whose remark on the conclusion of the war that He was not himself the lion heart, but it had fallen to him to give the roar of the lion, reminds me that today, in 1966, England won the World Cup football. So thinking ahead to Sunday, I think we should give a little roar, or a big one, for the lionesses. Thank you very much. This ceremony is now concluded.
Please be upstanding.